Hearthstone Battlegrounds has amassed quite a storied history in its almost 2 years since launch. Minions and heroes have come and gone, tribes have been added and metas have changed, so today we're going to look back at the top 8 most overpowered and sometimes outright broken minions in Battlegrounds history. Let's get started. So my number 8 pick is one of only a few on this list that is still in the game, though it worked a bit differently back in the day, which is why it's on the list, and that's Primal Fin Lookout. This Murloc discovers another Murloc with the key restriction that it can only be from your Tavern tier or lower. Well, at the launch of Battlegrounds, this restriction was not a thing, and you could discover Tavern 6 Murlocs, of which there was one back then, bonus points if you remember which. Granted, this minion was Tavern 5 instead of Tavern 4 like it is now, but tripling into this thing was actually insane, because even if you triple into it from Tavern 4, you could discover 5 and 6 drop Murlocs with it. But of course, this list starts off fairly tame, so let's move on. Coming in at number 7, we have a very recent one, and this is the release version of Dynamic Duo. Coming with the addition of Quill Balls, this card is still one of the best minions in Battlegrounds, especially if you hit it early with some Blood Gem generation synergies. But back at release, it actually had exceptional stats for a 4-drop, being a 6-7 when you initially buy it, which caused a huge tempo swing in your favour in addition to the great value and scaling that this unit still provides to this day. Number 6 is one that I really didn't know if I should put higher or not, but ultimately decided on 6th, and that's Pogo Hopper. This minion lay dormant for a long time in Battlegrounds, only seeing minor play on original Shudderwalk and was more of a meme composition than anything serious. But with the addition of the now ever-present Jandis Barov to the hero pool, this minion became arguably the single best in the entire pool. Jandis could of course keep cycling Pogo Hoppers back into the tavern, keeping their current stats and scaling the battle cries to insane heights. My own biggest minion of all time in BGs is actually a Jandis Pogo Hopper at 360-360 in stats, and I bet a good few of you watching have a similar situation. Back when Pogo was dominant, it was unheard of to get this many stats. This one arguably should be higher, but the fact that this was only on one specific hero made me put it slightly lower on the list than it probably should be. Taking the number 5 spot, we have a 5-drop, Poetic. Well, originally a 5-drop, but now a 6. Any guesses? It's Gentle Genie. This card spawns a random elemental on death that you keep permanently, making for great value generation. One Tavern tier difference might not seem like a huge deal, but tripling into an early Genie as early as 8 or 9 gold could snowball you to insane heights from the passive value you get each turn. Oh, and the cherry on top, similar to Primal Fin Lookout from earlier in the list, Genie could originally give you elementals of any tier, including the very powerful 6-drop elementals like Lil Rag and Gar before you're even on Tavern 6. Games were often decided by an early Genie when it was on 5, and it definitely deserves a spot on this list. Coming in at number 4, we have the only minion on the list that is still around in its original form, and that's Amalgadon. Well, technically it did get a small nerf where it doesn't count itself for adapts anymore, but other than that, it's the same old dong. Amalgadon is widely regarded as the best minion in the current Battlegrounds format, as it is the only one that can get Divine Shield Poisonous without using hero powers and other minions, stuff like that. Needless to say, almost guaranteeing 2 enemy minions die to your Amalgadon is insanely powerful, but I know you probably understand this already given that it's still in the modern Battlegrounds format, so let's move on. Breaking into the top 3, and in a very similar vein to Amalgadon, we have the original Nightmare Amalgam. The reason this one is above Amalgadon is because of how ridiculously early you could get this online. This was a Tavern 2 minion with 3-4 in stats, so it was a solid tempo pickup just to survive the early game, and was literally the best unit late game because of Divine Poisonous, which it got from a Noya module and Toxfin, which were always in lobbies back then because there was only the original 4 tribes of Beasts, Mechs, Murlocs and Demons. Games were very often decided by who bought 2 Nightmare Amalgams early on before they all got bought up, because they were by far and away the best 2-drop in the game at that point. They got removed and replaced with a 6-drop for a reason. You shouldn't be able to get Divine Poisonous that early on without being a specific hero like Curator or George. Sticking with the Divine Poisonous theme, taking the number 2 spot, we have Gentle Megasaur. Yep, any Battlegrounds OGs will remember the days where a full board of 6 Divine Shield Poisonous Murlocs would win any lobby, and Gentle Megasaur is the sole reason for that. Hitting the nuts with Bran and Megasaur rolling exactly Divine Poisonous just when you needed it on all your Murlocs was one of the best feelings in Battlegrounds, not to mention the ridiculous one-turn transitions you could pull off by farming triples with Bran, Khadgar and Murloc Tidehunter to discover several Megasaurs and virtually guarantee a full board of Divine Poison Murlocs. So what could be better than that? We still have one place left on the list. Well, the only thing better than a Divine Poisonous Murloc is a Divine Poisonous Murloc that regains its Divine Shield. Yep, I'm sure anyone who played in the era of Fishstone was just awaiting for the Holy Mackerel to appear on the list, and boy is this one a doozy. This minion's ability refreshed its Divine Shield whenever another Divine Shield was activated. It didn't come with a shield by default, so you did need to either Megasaur to adapt a shield onto it, or get another minion with a shield like a mech with a module or something like that. But this is basically a better deflector bot that you can put poisonous on. Endgame lobbies were often decided by which guy's full Divine Shield Murloc board had the most holy macros in it to refresh the shields. Not to mention the fact that one mackerel could ping off the other mackerel in a potentially infinite poisonous Divine Shield loop, where one gets attacked, then the other, then one, then the other. In theory, a board of 2 holy mackerels could literally solo the enemy comp if you got lucky enough. I don't think it's controversial to say that Holy Mackerel is by far the most broken minion to ever be added to Hearthstone Battlegrounds. But that's it for this video. Always interesting to take a look back at the history of games you played for a long time and how ridiculous they used to be, so if you enjoyed, then don't forget to drop a like before you leave, and I'll catch you guys in another one later on. Have a great day, and peace out, you nerds.